Thank you, Yanchi, for this nice introduction. After this long intro, everybody knows I am really old. Today I'm going to talk about the calculations module of Chemicalize. Thank you for attending. And please don't forget about the upcoming webinars in this series. In this Thursday, the search capabilities of Chemicalize, and next week, the compliance checker and business and legal related questions are coming. You can register if you forget it in the link in the bottom of the slide. The agenda of today is really simple. I start with a brief overview presentation, and after that, a live demo coming. And after the live demo, as Yanchi mentioned, you will be able to ask your questions, and we try to answer as we can. The subtitle of my presentation was the property prediction used by top farmers for all chemists, but this subtitle is wrong in two ways. First of all, Chemicalize is not only for chemists. Biologists or chemistry-related information scientists also can use it in daily work or for different projects. And ChemAxon customers are not only from pharma sector. As you can see, this illustrative list, many of them from different areas, including wide range of the industry related any chemical fields, what you can imagine. The calculation modules of Chemicalize based on the calculator modules of ChemAxon. It includes the chemical naming, the structural calculation, and the physical-chemical property predictions. Chemical naming, it's a rule-based stuff. Structural calculations also based on exact rules. Physical-chemical property predictions are a little bit more complicated. These based on trained set. I talk a little bit later about it. The most important thing here, these calculations are not dictionary-based. That means we can calculate the properties for any novel or known compound, and this way can be really useful if you want to synthesize something new and you don't have any measurement data for that. The trained algorithms like logP, logD, pKa, or solubility, it's based on a training set. These are high accuracy predictions, mainly optimized for small and medium-sized molecules, but not theoretical borders. How can you use it or how not? Where is the end of the accuracy? It's mainly optimized from drug size molecules, but you can also use it for small peptides or other molecule types. If you want to know a little bit more about the background of the calculation, in the link of the bottom of the slide, you can find more information about the background of the different kind of trainings and the algorithms behind these trained predictions. After this brief theoretical overview, I want to show you the calculation model and how it works. First of all, the first step to input your molecule some way. The Chemicalize calculation module supports a very wide range of different kind of input methods. You can enter IUPAC names, mice, INCHI, common name, drug name, acronyms, case numbers, depending your needs. And you are also able to draw a chemical structure thanks for Marvin.js dialog. You can sketch your molecule quite easily, or you are able to modify the molecule previously added to the text input. And you are also able to upload a file two ways. You can use the file open dialog of Marvin, or you are also able to simply drag and drop to the Marvin canvas, and this way you can enter a molecule from a file. After you upload your molecule or entered it some way, the next step is the selection of the calculation. This is a very important step because the cost of the calculation depends on your selection. If you are not interested, for example, if all of the calculations are selected, currently it costs 11 credits, Chemicalize credits. But if you turn off some calculation which are not interesting for you, for example, structural properties or names is not important for you, only pKa, you can turn off the others, and this way maybe your calculation cost only 2 credits will be. Other important thing here, calculation for small simple molecules under 12 heavy atoms, it's entirely free. We not charge you from this week for this kind of molecules. The results are displayed in small sections. The first section in the result window, the basic properties. This is really important. Basic properties are always shown regardless your selection. It contains your input, some very basic properties including molecule mass, exact mass, formula, and so on, as you see. And in the upper corner, it contains 2 very important icons, the download and print as PDF. I have a different slide about that. The next section is the names and identifiers. It includes all possible identifier and name what we are able to generate for your input molecule. It can be very useful if you want to search the structures in other web applications or other places. Structural and geometrical calculations are 2 tables appearing in the result. It contains some basic structure and topological calculations, can be really useful for modelers for deeper analysis. pKa calculation and isoelectric point, they are one of the most important and most widely used calculations. As you can see, we are not only able to show you the strongest acidic or basic pKa, but we are also able to show you how we calculate it. And under the table, you can under the chart, you can see the microspecies, and we can show you the microspecies distribution versus the pH value. We can do the same with logP and logD. As you can see, we can calculate quite easily the logP value for any molecule, and we can also show you the pH-dependent logD values. Solubility is another really important property of the molecules in drug discovery. We are able to give you a pH-dependent solubility value, and we are also able to give you a solubility category. It's low, high, and so on. This is one of the most important slides. If you calculate something and you not downloaded it or not recorded it anywhere, you may need to reload it some way. If you recalculate it, it has a credit cost, and it's obviously not good for you. But if you open the activity history dialog from the upper menu of Chemicalize, you are able to open any result previously calculated quite easily. Other very important function of this dialog, if you click on the clear history, you can remove your previous inputs. Some of the users are really worried about to store confidential molecule in our server. We do our best to protect the confidentiality of your molecules, but if you worry, you are able to clean full reader history. Only drawback this thing. After that, we are also not able to restore your results, so be very careful with this option. I suggest to export the results before do that. As I mentioned previously, it's the export functions are available from the basic properties dialog. As you can see, these 2 icons, you can click on the PDF print or compressed zip file export. The PDF, obviously, a nicely readable version of the results. the zip export contains all of the results in CSV format, some image about the charts, and your input structures in MRV and SDS format. This is only the first step. We're still working on new features. They are coming soon. The batch calculations, for example, the 3D visualization of your molecules, NMR predictions, it's widely requested, and the REST API to be able to call Chemicalize service from workflow tools, for example, 9. If you have any other suggestion related to current features or development plans, please share with us using this chemicalize@chemaxon.com address. That was the presentation, and now comes the hands-out part. If you want to join to hands-on part, please visit the chemicalize.com and you can do what I do currently. Today we are talking about this first, the calculation capabilities or function. As I mentioned, you are able to simply type any molecule name, for example, aspirin, to the input field, and after some seconds, the results appears. You can see here the basic properties, the structural properties, names and identifiers, pK values, isoelectric point, logP, logD, solubility, geometry, as I mentioned. If you want to know more about any of these calculations, you can simply click on this help icon and you get a quick reference about how it works and what you can see on the chart or in the table, for example. As I mentioned, you can select what are the calculations, which one are important for you. For example, I deselect all and select only the pKa and names and identifiers. As you can see, the credit cost is changed from 11 to 4. And let's execute the calculation using, for example, another molecule, for example, Viagra. As you can see, we get back the results very quickly. Here is the molecule. You can click on it and see what is in it. And as you can see, only the selected calculations appears. As I mentioned, you are also able to draw a molecule if you want. For example, draw something very simple, a benzene ring, and start the calculation. As you can see, pK value can be calculated for the benzene ring. The tool says no ionizable atom found. Obviously, your credits are not discrete change regarding to pK calculation, and it's not changed in any way because it says this calculation was free because it's under 12 heavy atoms. If you want to use an external file, for example, you can do it very simply. Just delete this, and from my desktop, I can move a file to Marvin GS dialog. And as you can see, it appears automatically. I can click on the calculate, and the results appears. Very important part here, that I mentioned, the download of the results. The PDF print is one of the most useful. Obviously, you are able to choose other printing mechanisms if you want, but we give you a nice overview of the results, and you can use it for documentation or for other purpose, depending on your need. Or you can choose the download icon and a zip file generated. If I save this zip, you can see inside that you find all of the calculated results. For example, if you open this MRV file, the molecule appears, or if you open the pKa CSV file, you can see the results connected to your chart. unfortunately, Excel misrecognized some part of it, but these are simple numbers behind it. The last part, what I want to show you, the history function. If you click on your name in the right upper corner, you can choose the activity history. As you can see, all of the events, what I did previously appears here. I can choose any of them. For example, if I log out and log in again, normally I lost my results from calculations, but I can go back to manage activity history tab, and I can select, for example, the calculated properties for the very important part here. You are able to clear your history. Just click on it and delete all of the previous history results. And after that, we don't have your history in our servers, and we are not able to see your molecules anyway. That was the presentation part. I hope you are satisfied with the current functions. As I mentioned, we are working on some new functions. And before starting the question and answer session, I would like to ask you to rank some way how important these features for you. And I want to ask you to vote the planned features. Just a minute and it will be appears. You can see the results here. Okay, the REST API seems to be not so important for you. The others are quite the same. Thank you for your feedback, and now your time. I'm waiting for your questions.